Today we're going to look at something a little different because we're going to have a look at Saint Ninian and his influence in Scotland, being the first saint there, and his influences in his area of Galway and Dumfries. Please enjoy. This is Saint Ninian's cave, and this is where he landed from Ireland. People assume either Belfast or from Donegal in 600 AD, and he was one of the first to spread Christianity amongst the Picts and Scots and in the area. As we can see, many crosses were carved, and some of his artifacts are actually found in a local museum. And from there he headed on 5 to 10 miles to the Isle of Whithorn, which was a trading place at the time, and there was erected this chapel, Saint Ninian Chapel, in 1100, and it's been added on and refurbished ever since. It originally comprised a small nave and a short and narrow chancel with a stone enclosure wall and a stone bench for the weary pilgrims who travelled there. And pilgrims still come here to visit this place. Absolutely gorgeous on the coast, on the peninsula, on the headland, and where you can see some marvellous views, including the Isle of Man, and on a clear day, the north of Ireland. And this is where Saint Ninian worshipped and spread between the Picts and the Celts Christianity in the area. And from then he travelled on in the area to bring about a monastery which is further along at the Isle of Whithorn. Heading into Whithorn along the High Street, you come down this archway and this heads up to the Priory, Whithorn Priory, which was founded in the 12th century but a lot destroyed in the Reformation. And as we see in the background, we see the church there in the grounds, and the church was founded by Saint Ninian in 397 AD. And there's a lot of information boards. And actual priory stretches for quite a distance on a number of levels. There's one of the oldest parts, however, it was blocked off from access, unfortunately. It would have been interesting to have a look inside, but it drops down to the embankments, and then the rest of the graveyard is lower down. And here you see the church, which is also known as the Candida Casa, or the shining white or glittering white because of the stonework. And here's the rest of the priory that's was not destroyed in the Reformation, what's left of it, but that's quite nice, as it's been well maintained historically. And there's graves either side, and the surrounds of the walls and other annexes of the priory can still be seen. Quite a nice day today. And out over in the far end, we think was more of a official building rather than a church. But as you can see, there's some nice ornate archways there, and no doubt there would have been some nice glass work in there at one time. And there's a Casa Cadida behind. This is all Saint Ninian's work or Saint Ninian's influence. Still a pretty area to visit, and there's some interesting. There's an interesting old hut further along, but there's a Catholic cathedral again, which we'll see now when we have a look inside the church. Nice stained glass. And a very welcome congregation, actually. Really, really nice. Got a nice gallery. Unfortunately, it was closed upstairs. We went to have a look, but it was locked. Nice pulpit. Quite bright inside, and the congregation was quite large, which was a refreshing change. And Saint Ninian's is dedicated in quite a few churches all around Scotland, including an interesting cathedral in Galway, in Dumfries, where we passed, but unfortunately was closed at the time. But never mind, I hope you liked this little journey and pilgrimage, and please continue to like, subscribe, continue to watch. Bye for now.